Assalamu alaikum, parents and students. Welcome to week 3 of your distance learning. Today we are going to be covering water and weather in science. Parents, please make sure you check the attached online learning lesson plan. In it you will find the lesson overview, the learning steps and assignments, as well as any resources we've provided. This week we've attached, as usual, our science book pages along with the answer keys. Students, you can self-assess after you've answered the questions. We've also attached a summary for lesson 1, part 1, to make sure you know this topic. So let's start our presentation for today, water and weather. We are going to be explaining how water moves from state to state in the water cycle. Make sure you watch the lesson tutorial by clicking on this YouTube link, and then you can come back to continue with me. So we have some vocabulary terms for science this week. Number 1 is atmosphere. Number 2 is weather. Number 3, humidity. Number 4, water cycle. Number 5, evaporate. Number 6, condense. And number 7, precipitation. Alrighty, so what is atmosphere? Our first vocabulary term. What is atmosphere? The atmosphere is the blanket of air that wraps around the planet. So this is the atmosphere. Number 2, what is weather? Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular time and place. And a lot of you, when you wake up in the morning, you'll ask yourselves, what's the weather like outside? And maybe it's sunny. Maybe it's partly cloudy. Maybe it's rainy if we're in the winter time. And maybe if you're lucky enough, it's snowy or stormy. All right, so weather is the condition of the atmosphere. What is humidity? Humidity is how much water vapor is in the atmosphere. A hot day can feel sticky if there is high humidity. Humidity and temperature affect each other. So if it's hot, then we will have high humidity. And you can see this girl over here, she's very hot because the sun is really hot on that day. So it is very humid. There is high humidity. Number 4, what is the water cycle? The movement of water on Earth is called the water cycle. 3 main processes move water through the water cycle, and we're going to take a look at them right now. So the first part of the process is called evaporation. Evaporation is when water particles go into the air as water vapor. This process happens faster at high temperatures. So we've got our water over here and then it floats up to the sky. It evaporates. It goes into the air as water vapor because of a high temperature. The next part of the process is called condensation. Water vapor particles join together and turn back into liquid form. So they've turned into water vapor particles in the air, and then they join back together and they turn back into liquid form. And precipitation is the last process, making our circle complete for the water cycle. Precipitation is when water collects into drops. The drops become too heavy and they fall back to earth. Now there are different kinds of precipitation. Precipitation can come in the form of rain. It can come in the form of snow and hail. Alrighty, so our water cycle is comprised of 3 parts: evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. See if you can say them with me. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. All right, so what does evaporate mean? Let's review our terms, our parts of the water cycle. Evaporate. When water evaporates, it changes from a liquid to a gas called water vapor. So you can see over here there's a high temperature maybe, and over here there's a high temperature under our pot on the stove, and the water is evaporating. It is changing from liquid to gas. And you can see that happening in this picture over here. Next is condense. What does condense mean? When water in clouds condenses, it changes from a gas to a liquid. So here you have it as a gas forming into a liquid. And right over here we can see there's some steam coming out of our pot. And then it's collecting here as little drops. It's changing from gas to liquid. So evaporate is when we are changing from liquid to a gas. Condense is the opposite. It changes from a gas to a liquid. What is our last step, our last part of the water cycle? Precipitation. The liquid water leaving the clouds is called precipitation. So any form of water that comes down from the sky is called precipitation. Alrighty, so at the end of this lesson, please assess yourself and give your feedback to your teacher. Make sure you check your student portfolio for any tasks assigned on Class Dojo, and thank you very much.